headshots and low blows, and plenty other hits on this week's Weekly Wrestling Cast. Alright, welcome back everybody. I am Danny Marvelous.
I'm Nick the Iceman, and this is the Weekly Wrestling Cast.
Hell yes. Another week of WWE programming.
Alright, so start off with some news.
Alright, some news. We got a couple things. First off, Luke Harper of the Bludgeon Brothers seems to be injured now.
Hey, we haven't seen him in a while.
Well, yeah, so Rowan was injured, which is why the Bludgeon Brothers dropped the title, and they haven't been on TV for a little while. But now Luke Harper did some picture with somebody, and he posted on Instagram or whatever, and he's got his hand in a cast. And so a lot of people are like, about that. So then we have Alexa Bliss. The reason why she still isn't wrestling is because not only did she get a concussion, she got multiple concussions.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so she's clearly not going to be wrestling for a little bit.
I mean, I kind of like her manager role right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
At least they're doing something with her.
Exactly. I'm glad she's still on TV. The USA Network is cracking down on WWE's Raw time. So Raw's been very... They openly just kind of flirt with the time restraints.
Yeah.
Like, they often do things over 3 hours, and then the USA Network has to switch all that stuff. And, well, considering they're not going to be on USA Network that much longer, I guess they're like, we're not putting up with your crap anymore.
Fair. They've kind of flirted with the time, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the big one, which happened on Monday Night Raw, is Becky Lynch is now injured.
Yeah.
Which... that was a mind-blowing injury. We'll get to it, but when we're covering Raw at the end. But Jesus. All right, so then let's hop right into Raw then. Started off with the tag team battle royale.
Sure.
To determine the tag team captain of the tag team Survivor Series match.
Sure, that's exactly what it was. It was a cold open. None of the tag teams got intros.
They just like, we're having this battle royale right now. And it was immediately interrupted by Braun Strowman, who once again comes out and makes the Raw tag team division once again completely useless.
Yeah, just lays waste to everybody, which I'm glad they did because, like we were saying, it was cold open. I was just like, is this really how we're doing this?
Yeah.
We're not even. I know Raw
no
hasn't
pageantry.
I know Raw hasn't been kind to their tag teams, but they're not gonna like do the tag teams that dirty, are they? And I was like, oh,
this seemed pretty dirty to me.
Yeah, but at least they actually gave us one intro when they did
exactly. At least they thought it was important enough to do it, but they literally just buried them all under Braun Strowman.
So then Stephanie McMahon comes out.
Yeah, Strowman's like, I'm not leaving this ring till Baron Corbin gets these hands.
And then she basically rolls over and just gives him what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. She wants Raw to be the winning team.
Which is fair.
And so she is, because she doesn't want Shane O'Mac to have bragging rights.
And she thinks the key to that is Braun Strowman, which may not be 100% true, but it definitely couldn't hurt to have him in your corner.
Yeah, exactly.
So she basically just rolls over on him. She's like, what do you want? And he said, Baron Corbin. She's like, fine, deal, you got it.
Yeah. He also wants a Universal title shot. And so I would assume the upcoming pay-per-views at TLC will have Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, and then hopefully at Royal Rumble, Universal title match with Braun Strowman and whoever is the Universal title.
Hopefully. But yeah, so then Baron Corbin comes out and goes, whoa. Whoa.
Yes, good old Corbin.
We need to relax.
Yeah, everybody calm down. And so then, of course, Braun Strowman immediately gets in his face. And
then Stephanie has to break that up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so he doesn't put a finger on him, though. Because he's holding out for this big deal. Because if
he hits him now, it's over. But if he waits,
so
he actually gets a full match with him.
Yeah, and if the Raw men's team wins, not only does he get matches, he gets to pick the stipulations for them.
Which could be really interesting.
Exactly. I'm really excited.
And then Ronda Rousey comes out.
Out of freaking nowhere. All of a sudden it's just Ronda. And she kind of just rips on Becky Lynch a little bit.
Yeah, she kind of just, does what she's been doing.
Yeah, and then of course she gets in Stephanie McMahon's face because that's what she's been doing.
Yeah. And then, it all kind of just wraps up. There's not really any, conclusion. They just are all kind of out there.
Yeah, my favorite line, though, in this was, "I'm gonna neuter you."
Yeah, that was...
So just so everybody knows, Braun Strowman is going to literally cut off Baron Corbin's penis.
Isn't it already in Stephanie's purse?
Oh, damn.
Listen, we're all thinking it.
Alright.
Then after that, we get to our first match, which is Ember Moon versus Tamina, featuring Nia Jax.
What a freaking dumb match this was.
We've talked before how they could easily do a nice storyline with these three women.
Oh yeah, but
they're it's just a shit show. And
poor Ember Moon is getting buried.
I'm so mad about it.
She's so good. Why are they treating her this way?
They started putting her over. That's the thing. If they would have just kept her buried, that would have been one thing. But they start putting her over, making you think they're gonna maybe put her in title contention, or at least do a storyline or a feud with her. But and then as soon as they start to build her up, they're like, nope, and slam her back down.
Mm-hmm. It was not cool.
So Tamina wins the match, and
thanks to distractions from Nia Jax.
Yeah, and then Tamina and Nia Jax do that thing they've been doing where they just beat the holy hell out of Ember Moon.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
But you notice Nia doesn't have her blonde highlights anymore?
Yeah, I did notice that.
So she's got darker hair again.
Because she's a heel.
But then...
So then we have the Seth Rollins interview.
Yeah, with Corey Graves. And, this is a little weird.
It's so weird. Because Corey Graves obviously couldn't give two shits about Seth Rollins.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite part about this was Seth Rollins straight up says, "I don't give a damn about Shinsuke Nakamura."
Yeah.
And I was like, is this Seth Rollins or Vince McMahon talking? Because, geez.
Yeah.
That's a pretty blatant.
Yep. And so it kind of goes a back and forth with Corey Graves asking questions, Seth Rollins answering, and then Corey Graves just questioning his answer.
Yeah.
And then the screen lights up, and it's good old Dean Ambrose in the parking lot of this arena. It is to be assumed.
Yeah. Supposedly,
and he goes
probably it's obviously pre-recorded.
Yeah, for sure. But he goes on this rant about, you want to know why I did this? You ever thought about how you treated me? And basically reveals that
he's putting it on Rollins.
Yeah,
how dare you treat me like this all this time?
Yeah, he's tired of being treated like shit, and he feels like is not a respected member of the Shield, and it's his duty to cover the slack of the other two.
Yeah, and he's like, we always said that the Shield was stronger together, but I think I'm stronger alone now.
And then he burns the shield, the shield vest,
the quote-unquote shield vest, yes.
And totally not a knockoff vest that he bought for $10
No!
At the Salvation Army.
How dare you? My kayfabe.
But yeah, so it was a cool promo.
It actually really was. I very much enjoyed it.
And then we get another cool promo right after that.
Yeah, so Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre come out, and this is all McIntyre promo. He's just talking about what he did to Kurt Angle and just humiliates the guy.
Off
and I was like, dang. He was really good. And of course, then Finn Balor interrupts him.
Yeah.
And he is basically like, hey man, you beat the crap out of me after my match last week. What the hell? So, basically, just starts a little feud between these two, but he's like, oh, I'm not going to fight you. You can fight Dolph Ziggler.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. He goes, Dolph Ziggler, during his thing, he's like, Dolph Ziggler's the best in the world. Yeah, he should have been crowned, whatever. Mm-hmm. He's been robbed. And then that was just a small part of his rant that Drew McIntyre just went on. And then Finn Balor comes out, and he's like, I'm not gonna lower myself to fighting you. Dolph, fight him.
Yeah. It's a little shade thrown at Dolph Ziggler,
But you can tell, like, Dolph Ziggler, like, shoots him a look.
He's like,
really?
What did you just say to me?
So it was weird because he's, like, putting Dolph Ziggler over, being like, he's the best in the world. And then he's like, I'm not going to lower myself to your level, Finn. But Dolph will.
But Dolph will. That was so funny.
So they had a match. It was alright.
And before the match starts, Drew McIntyre hits the Glasgow kiss on him.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And so then, Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler.
And they burned it down.
Of course they did.
That
These
match
guys are
was
so
good.
They really are just absolutely fantastic.
I am pleasantly surprised that they gave it to Finn Balor.
Yeah, he steals a win. Slides out afterwards.
I thought because of the way they were doing this and, with Drew McIntyre being there, I was like, oh, there's no way Finn Balor's going to win this match.
Yeah.
And he ends up rallying. He fights them both off for a little bit. He ends up stealing the win.
Yeah, and of course later on we find out that because of this win, he is now part of the Raw men's Survivor Series team.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited for.
It's really weird. There's a lot of volatile pairings on both Raw and SmackDowns.
Yeah, it is weird, and I think it's especially weird because SmackDown's whole thing is like unity, like stay together, and then like Raw's is all like, man, all these guys hate each other, but they're all really strong.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I also think it'll be interesting to see that, like, yeah, SmackDown's rally this year has been unity, but then you have like Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy on the same the same team.
Yeah. You have Rey Mysterio and The Miz.
Up until this week, which we'll get to, The Miz and Daniel Bryan were on the team.
Exactly. But yeah, but it's weird, yeah. But I really enjoyed this.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for Survivor Series.
I actually am really looking forward to it.
So then after that, we got another promo. There were a lot of promos on Raw this week.
Yeah, it's the week before the week before pay-per-view. They are gonna have to fight 2 matches in a row, basically, and so they're gonna give their main talent a little bit of rest.
So Ronda gets a promo, which is, it's a very Ronda promo. She's like,
Ruby Riott,
or I don't know. I have Ronda promo, and then I have Riot Squad promo also on here.
Oh, was there a backstage thing with?
Maybe there might have been like, it was like a pre-recorded promo thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Where they were just hyping the match at Survivor Series.
Gotcha. I missed that one.
Yeah, it was just generic Ronda promo.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna kill you.
I will actually murder you.
It was generic enough that I don't actually remember what she said.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like some like, Becky, well, you were in school, I was doing arm bars. Yeah. Well, you were going to whatever, I was doing arm bars. Like,
yeah. It was that
I do
very
that
awkward now. Childhood.
I was
that
just like
I'm interested to see a biography on Ronda Rousey, autobiography based on all of her promos.
Oh my god!
Literally, I feel like she's gonna come out the womb and the doctor's gonna try to put an armbar on her as an infant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! But yeah, then I have the Ruby Riott promo.
Yeah.
And as soon as she starts apologizing, I'm like, she's pulling a fast one. So they're gonna pull the rug out from us. Everybody knows.
I instantly thought that too, and it kept going. I was like, okay, this has got to be a long con because she is just hamming it up for a long time.
Yeah, she is.
And then of course she flipped the switch. It was like, I enjoyed it all. Mwahaha.
Yeah, exactly. She ends up spitting fire.
Oh, yeah,
when she finally does the turn. It's like, ooh, she's going after him. I actually really like Ruby Riott on the mic, and finally they're giving them something to actually do.
The Riot Squad for me, because I've always known they've existed. They've kind of just been this enigma where it's like, oh yeah, the Riot Squad. It's Ruby Riott and the other 2.
Yeah.
And now that I've been watching wrestling more diligently,
exactly,
they've been giving her and the Riot Squad a little bit more of a push.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a push and pull.
Yeah, exactly.
But they've been getting more airtime.
Exactly.
I really am starting to like them. I think they're a really cool team. I like that they're not just like, they are heels for the sake of heels, but, like, it doesn't feel that way because that's their gimmick. It's like chaos.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy them.
I do too. Of course, then Natalya attacks Ruby right from behind.
Yeah, her intro starts up and they just, like, turn to look.
Yep, and she jumps him. And so that happens, but, I mean, it's 3-on-1. So what are you going to do?
I was waiting for Sasha and Bayley to come out.
Same.
They never came out.
But apparently because of later in the show they have a match. But I was like, where are your buddies?
Yeah. So after that, we had, for the second time this episode, a tag team battle royale.
Yeah, and this was...
And the only intro we got was for the people who won.
Yeah, for Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. And as soon as they cut to commercial right after them, everybody should have known that they were going to win.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, one thing I did notice in this, though, Connor from the Ascension is still making him look strong. Like, he eliminated, like, a bunch of people, so.
Oh, yeah, they're putting them over even when they don't win.
Yeah, like, which they should, because you have to have a believable tag division.
Yeah, exactly. And he's one of those people who, because of how they do the Ascension and how he kind of, like, his character and how he wrestles, he's one of those people like Braun Strowman, where, like, if you put him in a ring with a whole bunch of people, and he doesn't go on a rampage and throw, like, 4 people out of the ring, it's almost going to feel like a cop-out.
Yeah, exactly. But then out comes, after this, of course, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable win, so they're captains, but it doesn't really matter because all the other teams are in it anyway.
Yeah. That's what I thought was funny. The match ended, they were like, here's the captains, and then it showed, like, the spread where it was, like, SmackDown and Raw, and it had the Usos and a whole bunch of silhouettes, and then the entire board was full on the top.
Yeah, it was, like, clearly Raw's tag division, because I think the only one that's left out is the injured teams.
Yeah.
Breezango, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so then out comes Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
And, you know, it's typical Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar's the best in the world.
Exactly. And, I mean, it's really good. Because it's Paul Heyman. What do you expect?
I am never upset to listen to Paul Heyman yell about shit.
Exactly. I could do it for hours.
And then we get Jinder Mahal.
All of a sudden, Jinder Mahal's music hits, and I'm like, what the heck are we doing?
So Jinder Mahal comes bopping out with the Singh brothers, and he's like, Brock, I've
Don't underestimate AJ Styles.
I've fought AJ Styles before.
You may beat me.
Yeah, and he beat me real good.
That's my favorite. This dude interrupted the champion. This guy hasn't won on TV for like
a month at least, yeah.
And he comes out, it's basically like, Brock, be careful. I lost to this guy.
And then he's like, I can help you find your center. Shanti. And then he gets F5'd.
Yeah, but like, imagine if freaking, for some reason, Brock Lesnar was fighting Apollo Crews. And nobody thinks Apollo Crews is going to win that match between him and Brock Lesnar. But then Jinder Mahal comes out and is just like, you better watch out for him. He's beating me.
Yeah, like... It's so dumb.
So stupid. But yeah, they do the Shanti thing. Brock does his
I think they were just
joking play around thing that he always does. And then
I think they were just like, man, we don't have a superstar to dunk on Jinder Mahal this week. Let's have him go out and try to calm down the beast incarnate.
Surprise, it doesn't work.
So after that, we get a bullshit match. I'm so upset about this shit. Oh my god. Danny Marvelous, help me to not rage.
Whatever, man. This match is dope.
It was an Elias Leo Rush.
It wasn't dope.
It was an Elias Bobby Lashley match. And
so first off, the beginning, why the ass thing happens again? And I'm like, what is happening? And then Elias comes out, and he's calls Child Protective Services.
Oh, that was great.
I freaking loved it. Oh, God.
And so they get into a match.
Yeah.
It's actually...
Winner will be part of the Raw Men's Survivor Series match.
It was actually a pretty good match.
I actually very much enjoyed it.
The part that upsets me is at some point Leo Rush disappears.
Yeah, he goes.
We don't know where he. They don't really show what happened. He's just like off screen doing shenanigans,
as always.
And Elias is out of the ring. They're counting. They get to 8 count. He goes, grabs the rope, goes to pull himself up, and Leo Rush, like whack-a-mole, comes out from underneath the ring and just wraps his arms around Elias's knees, and shins. And holds him there. Count of 10 hits.
Ref can't see it, so...
He's counted out, and Elias loses.
And he's just so... I was mad. But then they at least let Elias... He ended up pounding on both of these guys. Like...
As he should! That was bullshit!
Well, yeah, but like... they've been pushing Bobby Lashley as like this dominant dude. And then, like, don't get me wrong, I like Elias, and he's a big guy. And he's been doing better, but like... I never would have thought, he's just going to beat on Bobby Lashley after that. But yeah. I mean, granted, it was mainly focused on Leo Rush, but still, he got Lashley a couple times. But yeah, then we had Alexa Bliss comes out, and she announces most of the women's Raw Survivor Series team. And this team sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand, like, all these heels are, like, friends with not Bailey, Alexa Bliss, and so obviously she's gonna pick them, but geez, Mickie James, Natalia's also announced, which, okay, but then also Nia Jax and Tamina, and I was like, gosh, I understand the strong women, like, because Nia Jax and Tamina are big and strong and can probably whoop most of the women's roster's butts. But I was just like, I am not excited to see this team.
I mean, why not just put all of the Riot Squad on there?
Like... Yeah, really. But anyway, she then says, okay, there will be a match, and the winner will be the final member of my team. And it's Sasha Banks versus Bailey.
Which I thought this was dope.
This was a good match.
I also thought this was, like, the most heely thing a heel manager could do.
Oh, yeah.
It's just be like, hey, you guys are friends. Fight each other.
Yeah, exactly. But, and yeah, it was actually pretty good, but it ends, I find, very disappointingly.
They just jump Sasha and Bailey both.
Yeah, they're just, okay, DQ, and then Alexa's like...
Oh, by the way, it was Ruby Riott.
Oh, it was Ruby Riott. What the...
Why not have Ruby Riott run out and start beating the crap out of them both?
Yeah, exactly. And then Alexa's like, oh, I think I'll pick her now. Yeah, so that'd be good.
Or, like, even have her do, like, I know legally within the match it wouldn't count, but, like, pin one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And she runs out, beats the crap out of both of them, and then just, like, puts her foot on Bailey's chest.
Yeah.
And, like, Sarah Logan is, like, hitting the mat, like, counting.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, she hits the 3... Sarah Logan hits the 3 count, and they're like, see? She got the pin. Like, that would have been dope.
Indeed. And then, during this, though, then we cut backstage, and Becky has got Ronda in the disarm her.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is on Raw.
Yeah, and she's just pulling, and it looks in that. Good thing Ronda is flexible, because that thing is like looks like it's halfway out of its socket.
So then, of course, you know, you have security and refs just like trying to pull
her
her
no,
off. Like,
get off of her! Yeah.
Oh no, stop!
Get out of here!
No, stop! No. And so eventually she gets off of her and pushes her to the ground.
Yep.
And just takes off walking. And then we cut back out with the 7 women in the ring.
Yeah.
You hear Becky Lynch's theme kick in.
And she starts marching down.
Oh, she starts strutting out. You see her pound her chest and say, "This is my show now."
Yeah.
And took some balls.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're walking up to, at this point, 7 women by yourself.
2 of them being Nia Jax and Tamina.
Yeah, exactly. And you're by yourself, but she then reveals she wasn't alone.
And SmackDown invades.
The entire Women's SmackDown roster just invades.
Even Charlotte Flair.
Even Mandy Rose. The Iconics were there. I was like, whoa.
And, yeah, it just turned into a brawl. And during this brawl,
yes,
you don't actually see it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
The actual footage that's been revealed of it is like a cell phone footage or somebody ringside, not actually the cameras of Raw. But Nia Jax looks completely intentional.
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like there's room for error there. It was a pretty deliberate punch.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened.
So Nia Jax gets a solid, fist is by her ear. Yeah. She gets a huge wind up and cracks Becky Lynch right in the eye.
Right, yeah. And I was like, woo. And how do you do this?
We were talking about this a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things you learn is how to pull your punches.
Of course, because you can't actually punch somebody, so you're immediately taught, day 1 cardio, day 2, how to fake punch person.
Well, and because for a couple days after this, that footage wasn't released.
Yeah, exactly.
People thought maybe it was a wild elbow.
Yeah, wild elbow, yeah.
Or there was a whole bunch of people huddled up, so fists were flying in a huddle.
Yeah.
But this is very much, somebody's got Nia around the waist behind her.
Mm-hmm.
But then the only person in front of Nia Jax is Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I'm so surprised at this. How do you mess that up?
And so, like I said, it was a couple days before the footage came out. So all that the audience knew for the most part, Monday night and Tuesday night,
mm-hmm.
is that she just out of nowhere got hit in the face somehow and was just covered in blood.
Exactly.
And it was bleeding bad. It was all up in her hair because she was trying to brush her hair out of her face and just smeared it.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
And now that we know what happened, you gotta give Becky Lynch some credit because she continued for 5 minutes.
She finishes the segment, and
she does not break character at all.
It's she looks great in this because
and
it's like a Stone Cold. Yeah,
I hate that she got injured because I really like Becky Lynch and I was really looking forward to this match at Survivor Series.
Same,
but it definitely added to the intensity of Becky Lynch.
With
absolutely. The blood just all over.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it was very Stone Cold.
Exactly. And then, of course, Ronda runs in to try to get revenge. And I was like...
She flips a person.
She flips 2 people. And this would work if the cameraman is in a different spot. Because...
You see her motion.
Yeah, well, there's that. And you see a group of 4 of them just chilling in the corner, watching.
Yeah, you see Lana... And I think maybe Carmella.
Yeah.
And Charlotte just standing in the corner behind Ronda watching her flip people.
Why aren't you all just beating her down? And of course,
they had to give Ronda her minute in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. But then, of course, Becky gets her with the chair. And, this was a great way to end Raw.
For a Raw show? The crowd was totally on SmackDown
side.
Oh,
yeah. They loved this.
They were chanting one more time.
Yeah.
They
love Becky.
With the chair. So. And they even mentioned Becky in one of Ronda's promos. When she mentions Becky, they all chant, Becky, Becky. And I saw, it was an article or a video or something, where they were comparing Becky to a Stone Cold. With the popularity,
oh, yeah.
Regardless of brand, regardless of heel or face, she's just been building so much.
Oh, yeah.
That she is one of the figureheads right now.
Absolutely.
And honestly, as unfortunate as it is that she won't be wrestling for X amount of time because of this injury, I feel like the injury helped.
Maybe a little, yeah.
Because it kind of goes with the whole,
It hypes this feud.
Yeah, and it kind of keeps the ball rolling on this never stopping, regardless of what happens, train that she's been on.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'll be really interesting to see what happens when she gets better and what they do in the meantime.
Oh, absolutely.
With her cutting promos or like being on Twitter. Like she's already started up a feud with Nia Jax on Twitter about this.
Yeah, that's just weird. But yeah, actually, there were rumors that Becky was supposed to lose the title at TLC that were coming out already. Supposed rumors, but those rumors, the rumors are now that she holds onto the title for a little bit longer than that. Of course, we never know. WWE can always pull the rug out from under us.
They do a really good job at kind of keeping the like actual timeline of things under wraps.
Oh yeah.
But, people who've been watching this for 20 plus years can kind of see the
patterns,
see the line in the sand. Uh-huh. And so people were theorizing that we were going to see Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania next year. Well, some people are starting to think that because of what's happening with all this and that they have to do Charlotte and Ronda now, that they might keep it on Becky and have a Becky-Ronda match at WrestleMania instead.
Exactly. Should be dope.
We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, then we move on to SmackDown.
Which starts with a AJ Styles promo.
Yes, he comes out and he's just hyping the match with Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, talking about how he's been working and getting better, and then Paul Heyman comes out of the crowd.
Yeah, and Styles like, give him a mic, and of course Heyman does his thing, always Heyman, but then he's like, the only person other than you that Brock wants to fight would be, Daniel Bryan.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but then, AJ Styles like...
It's like, not to knock you at all, but Brock Lesnar will just have to deal with fighting the second best.
Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, AJ starts talking about how, I beat Daniel Bryan.
And I've been learning how to tap people out. Yeah. That's just an extra way for me to beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly. And so then Daniel Bryan interrupts.
Which was already a little weird. Especially based off of how last week's SmackDown ended.
Yeah,
with the brawl with Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yeah. And so he comes out and he basically is just like, hey, AJ, keep my name out your mouth.
And then AJ's just like, but that was Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Paul Heyman brought it up, and I defended you?
Also, what do you expect me to say if someone's like, who the best in the world? And he's like, if you say my name again, I'm going to punch you.
Yeah, he's like, so when I talk about the best in the world, you don't want me to say Daniel Bryan?
And then he just hits him.
Just punches him in the face. And just turns into a little brawl. And of course,
Shane comes out, refs separate everybody.
Yeah, everybody's getting separated, security. And it ends up being continued backstage after a commercial break where we find out that there's going to be a match tonight. And it's for the WWE Championship.
And the whole time, Paige is just in the background looking, like, terrified.
Yeah.
She's like,
I think I'll stay back here.
Wide-eyed. What's going on, guys?
But then we moved on to Andrade Cien Almas versus Jeff Hardy.
I'm so uncomfortable with this match.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I like them both a lot. So I was okay with whoever won. I was like, give it to whoever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be a good match. And about halfway through the match, I got really disheartened because they've both been losing a lot. So I was like, man, this is a lose-lose.
Yeah.
If Jeff Hardy wins, cool, we're bumping Jeff Hardy, but we're also burying Almost even more.
Yeah, exactly.
If Almost wins, cool, we're boosting Almost, but we're burying Hardy even more.
Exactly. It's another battle of the buried, and it's like, we want somebody to win, but
at what cost?
And we like seeing these two fight because, they're great in the ring, but yeah, it is disappointing. Jeff Hardy ends up getting the win, so Almas is fed to the dogs again. And, then afterwards, Miz is watching backstage with Paige, and this is where we find out that Daniel Bryan officially has been removed from the SmackDown Men's Survivor Series team. And
I wonder why.
Yeah. And so now that space has to be filled by The Miz. And Miz says, okay, well, Jeff Hardy just looked good in that match, so I'll take Jeff Hardy. But then he tries.
It makes me laugh because Jeff Hardy was Daniel Bryan's pick last week.
Yeah.
And so he picks a pick that Daniel Bryan suggested.
Yeah.
And then immediately is like, we got to get rid of Rey Mysterio because he's Daniel Bryan's pick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have to get, and so Paige is like, no, I'm your boss. I'm saying you can't do that. Which doesn't make sense because she was literally just like, okay, you're in charge now. Go ahead and do your thing. And then...
But not this one thing.
Yeah. And then he makes a decision she doesn't like. And she's like, okay, well, let's calm down now. If you want him out, you have to be him in the ring, and it's next.
And Rey Mysterio is all about it. The Miz looks a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
He feels undermined.
This match was good, though.
This match was super good.
It actually was really good. So I thought the ending was kind of because they've been going back and forth, roll-ups after roll-ups, everybody kicks out of them. Miz gets a near fall and just sits up, and he's like collecting himself. All of a sudden, Rey Mysterio rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. I was like, that's it?
That's it? There's no finisher?
Yeah, I was like, don't get me wrong, I like when
you don't have
matches end differently, but
yeah, and you don't have to do a 619, but frog splash or
do something.
Any kind of move that isn't just put legs overhead. Cool, I win.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this was a really good match. Of course, Randy Orton runs in afterwards.
RKO out of nowhere.
He tries to RKO Rey Mysterio this time, but Rey gets away from him. So then he bumps into the Miz.
And the Miz is like, nope.
Yeah,
nope.
But he gets hit with the RKO. And Randy Orton was actually going off on some interview or on Twitter, and he was talking about how it's ridiculous that he's not in the Survivor Series match.
I mean,
yeah. So it just makes more sense with this character right now. But yeah, then the women's division comes out.
Becky Lynch reveals what happened.
Yeah.
And she does it in Becky Lynch style. She's
of course.
Listen, I took some licks, but last night was worth it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But, of course, now it's the WWE doctors. They won't let me compete. It's not my fault. It's the doctor's fault.
Yeah. And so she has to pick a replacement. And this legitimately surprised me a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, she's not going to pick Charlotte.
Yeah, because they're feuding.
And then she picks Charlotte and gives her a hug.
Yeah. I was like, what the... Is this a face turn?
I don't know if this was like a break in kayfabe or if it was
kind
of a
I don't know what was happening. I was
or...
okay. It was weird, but something I wrote down, now people could argue that Becky could be a face from the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
this could be the upswing.
Yeah, exactly. Now I can understand somebody arguing, whereas before I was like, "Are you insane?"
Yeah. So, but we'll have to wait and see because this could just be like a Survivor Series thing, which is like Unity, go get them.
Yeah,
Becky.
exactly. We don't know,
so we'll have to wait and see until after Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
But then they catch Charlotte Flair backstage, and she kind of has a mini promo where she very aggressively says she's gonna beat Ronda Rousey.
She doesn't say she's gonna kill her.
No, it's not quite that bad, but you can definitely see she's trying to keep the momentum going of the feud.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we get the Bar versus the New Day.
I love these two teams, but I did not need to see this again. Come on. I understand they're feuding, but literally all they do is go out to the ring, have a match, and that's it. Big Show punches one of the New Day members.
Yeah. I really wish we'd get some more backstage stuff like we had before. Like the pancake thing where they filled their bags with pancakes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Any of the booty worth stuff.
Oh, yeah. But no, we're just matches. No story.
Yeah, it's
like...
the Bar wins.
Yeah, also, this crowd sucked. Jeez, they were boring. They didn't care about anything. I was done with this crowd, man.
So then we get the main event, which is the Daniel Bryan AJ Styles title match. And this was a real good match.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolute barn burner.
Yeah, definitely in the running for one of the best of the week.
Oh, for sure.
And so the match keeps going on. It's very back and forth. One of them gets going for a while, then the other one gets momentum, gets going for a while, and they lose back and forth for a little bit. There's a couple near falls, and then I'm struggling to remember the exact move. I don't know if you remember or not, but there's a move where Daniel Bryan sends AJ Styles into the ref.
Oh, I don't know the move,
and so the ref tumbles out of the ring. Oh, well, tumbles into the corner.
Yeah.
He's looking away from the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a heel turn?
Yeah. It wasn't... We didn't know if it was legit at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does a low blow.
It was a very subtle, kind of like heel turn with a question mark.
Yeah. If you blinked, you missed it.
And I thought he kicked him in the stomach. And then you hear, it might have been Corey Graves, I don't know, one of the people on the announce desk was like, "Oh, it's a low blow." And
it's like,
wait, was it a low blow?
Yeah, and so...
And it got him the win.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion.
And you see his smile turn sinister.
Yeah, and
then he just starts going in on him.
Ooh, just starts beating on AJ.
Yeah, and Daniel Bryan heel turn.
Yep, Daniel Bryan is a heel now. And the WWE champion.
Which, people always... Paul Heyman's thing is, that's not a prediction, it's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler. I mean, he kind of did that this episode.
Exactly. But yeah, SmackDown was good again this week.
I can't believe they gave it to Daniel Bryan on an episode of SmackDown.
It's all the more reason to watch SmackDown.
Man.
SmackDown does good stuff like this all the time, whereas, Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good.
So, I don't know what's going on. We can talk about it more when we get to Survivor Series stuff in our show, but I don't know if they were trying to keep a whole bunch of things fluid and do plot twists. Or,
exactly.
Or if they're just struggling to organize things in time. Because a lot of these last minute changes and plot twisty type things. Granted, the Ronda Rousey Becky Lynch fight isn't anyone's writing. It was an injury. Mm-hmm. But this with Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar, it's just it felt very last minute.
Yeah,
scribbled in we need to do this now.
Yeah, it's weird. Out of the 3 singles matches at Survivor Series, only one of them was the one that was advertised to us.
Yeah,
it's so weird. But yeah, of course we'll get into Survivor Series when we talk about it later. But yeah, I'll run through our middle shows real quick. Mixed Match Challenge, which on this episode they announced that the team that wins the Mixed Match Challenge, the man and the woman will be the number 30 entrant in the Royal Rumble this year.
Which is pretty good.
I was because before, we just covered Mixed Match Challenge because they were oh, we're going to do the finale at TLC. And so I was oh, okay. But now there's actual stakes to it.
Which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah,
because let's be honest, not a whole lot of people watch it. It's a Facebook Live show.
Exactly, yeah.
The only way to watch it not on Facebook is on the WWE Network, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And so it's not very watched. The last one I don't think hardly anybody watched because Asuka was in it and they weren't going to break her streak on a Facebook Live show.
Exactly.
So people kind of didn't watch it and was just well, Asuka's team's going to win, obviously.
And of course she did,
So this one had a little bit more uptick on the viewership, but...
Yeah, so actually because of the stuff that we announced, though, that they announced, no real jokey matches this time around, like they have been doing. So... First one, what? Go ahead.
Oh, we can go ahead and do it at the end.
Okay, cool.
I just had a comment about mixed match.
All right, so the first one was a Monster Eclipse versus Country Dominance, and actually pretty good match. Monster Eclipse ends up getting the win, and I think they're the only undefeated team in the Raw grouping right now. And then Phenomenal Flair fought Asuka, and due to AJ Styles being losing the championship and still being injured, he wasn't fighting tonight. It was Jeff Hardy instead, and they end up getting the match, and it's the first time Asuka has lost in the Mixed Match Challenge. And Asuka ends up tapping out to the figure 8. But yeah. So.
All right, so I know all of the teams are still in it because it's not really elimination, right?
Yeah.
It's bracket based. It's like
it's
wins and losses.
Yeah, so there's a round robin, and then there's some kind of playoff.
Okay, so I don't know if you know. Obviously, you know a couple with the matches that were this week.
Yeah.
Who are the top contenders right now?
Top contenders are Monster Eclipse from Raw and from SmackDown, Phenomenal Flair.
Are there enough matches left that anybody could beat
Yeah.
before...
So they were even talking, I don't know how they're going to do it with the playoff, switching from the round robin to the playoff. But there was, they dropped it in this match. They were like, oh man, our teams that haven't gotten a win yet, if they get a win next week, they can still be in the playoff bracket or whatever. So it might be like a four-sided bracket. With the top 4 teams being like a rank 1 versus a rank 4, a rank 2 versus a rank 3.
All right, I was just curious. Yeah. I didn't know who were the front runners right now.
Yeah, so technically they can just keep going. It could be most of these teams. So
gotcha.
But
it'll be interesting.
But those are the front runners. So
it'll be real interesting. Especially there might be some spoilery type things with.
Yeah.
Because if Monster Eclipse wins the Mixed Match Challenge,
we
know Braun Strowman's not going to have like a title match or anything
at Royal Rumble. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Or if AJ wins, he's probably not going to be a champion at that time.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, based off of who wins the Mixed Match Challenge, what kind of weird foreshadowing we can glean off of that.
Very interesting. But yeah, so then we went to NXT UK. And another 2-episode week, which was kind of weird.
Which I actually watched one of the episodes with you.
Yes, you did. But yeah, so I'll start with the first episode. Triple H comes out with the women's division and, of course, announces the tournament for the new women's title, which...
It's about time.
Yep. We're not going to talk about the spoiler, but we know who ends up winning it. But yeah.
It was kind of a big deal about Evolution.
Yeah.
They announced the title would be defended, and then they were like, "Wait,
just kidding.
It hasn't been brought up
yet. We haven't done it yet."
It was a whole mess.
Yeah, it really was.
They're starting that now.
Mm-hmm. So they announced it on the first episode this week, and then they started it on the second episode this week. But yeah, then we had Jordan Devlin versus Sid Scala. Devlin just destroys him. There was a botched dropkick, but led to Devlin's finisher, and Devlin gets the win. And he ends up calling out Ligero afterwards on the mic. Then we had a tag team match with Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams versus Saxton Huxley and Joseph Connors. And, Jordan and Williams look really good. It turned into a pretty good match, but, Connors ends up getting the pin on Williams. And it was a weird thing because they're like, oh, there's going to be a tag team championship at some point. These are kind of just random wrestlers we threw together. I was like, no, that's unnerving, but okay. So then we had Tyler Bate versus James Drake. Good match. Bate looks really good. Bate gets the win. And then the final match for the first episode was Ashton Smith versus Wolfgang. Another good match. Wolfgang ends up getting the win. And then there was the second episode, which saw the start of the women's tournament. Yeah. With Dakota Kai versus Nina Samuels. And Dakota Kai is awesome.
Oh, that match was so
It cool. Really was a great match. And, Dakota Kai...
Dakota Kai's kicks are so clean.
Oh, yeah. And that flipping backstabber, it's called, like, the chiropractic whatever. But,
that's impressive.
It really is.
Very cool to watch.
It was awesome. And, of course, she wins, so she moves on. Then we got 2 squash matches in a row. First one was for Tyson T-Bone. Boring kind of match. Then Dave Mastiff came out. Did his third squash match since NXT started. But at least they kind of have a face-off between him and T-Bone. And maybe that's going to lead somewhere. But Then we had the second match in the women's tournament, Ginny versus Millie McKenzie. I don't know, I thought it was just an okay match.
Just okay.
Ginny ends up winning. There were some pretty cool suplexes by Millie. Sorry. But yeah, the final match of the night was Zach Gibson versus Trent Seven. And I actually pretty enjoyed this match. It wasn't phenomenal or anything, but
I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable.
Pretty cool. Gibson ends up stealing the win. Afterwards, Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers end up jumping Mustache Mountain.
Yeah.
And, of course, leading into more feuds. And, you know, they're starting out, so they have to build these new feuds out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, they're kind of just throwing people at each other to start storylines.
Exactly. But then we move on to 205 Live.
Oh, my God. 205 Live was so good this week.
It really was. And, I mean, they kill it all the time, but
so we started really with... Gulag and Gallagher Gallagher, sorry.
Yeah.
Versus Kendrick and Tozawa.
Yeah, and this match was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And they came out firing, and it didn't slow down, really.
It was very high intensity most of the match.
Yeah, for most of it. There was a portion where they just kind of worked on Brian Kendrick for a while.
Yeah.
But...
for the most part, it was very high intensity. I really liked, you could tell that there's still a little green, but Kendrick and Tozawa are actually pulling off some combo moves, which looked really good.
It was cool. But of course, they end up getting a loss because Gallagher throws Kendrick into Akira Tozawa when he has Drew Gulak in a submission hold.
Which was a wicked, weird looking submission hold,
yeah,
by
it was,
the way.
and it was cool.
He was like wrapped around him like a snake.
Yeah, exactly. And this causes those two to kind of get in each other's face a little bit. And of course, that leads to the Drew Gulak getting the win.
Yep.
But yeah.
After that, we had the Lucha House Party and a squash match.
Yeah, which this match was... I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fun to watch the Lucha House Party, but
it was a squash match.
No stakes.
It was a squash match, and it set up a match next week because Maria Kanellis came up on the screen afterwards and congratulated them and wanted to let them know the feud wasn't over yet.
Yeah, Grand Metalik will face TJP next week, and you guys better be ready and all that. But then we get to the main event.
Oh my God.
Cedric Alexander versus Lio Rush.
This match might be one of the best of the week, maybe one of the best of the month.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh my Lord.
This match was really good. A lot of heat going into it already, so they built it properly.
Oh yeah, because they know how to write Lio Rush on 205.
They really do.
On Raw, they just kind of make him yell Bobby Lashley, and it's annoying, but... on 205, he really gets time to shine on the mic.
Oh, yeah.
They had a promo last week with him and Cedric when he was at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
So there was a lot, like you said, a lot of heat in this match. They both come out. They just burn it down.
Oh, this match was good.
The first 3/4 of the match was really good, and I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
But man, that last 5 minutes, it's like they both hit the nos.
Exactly.
They both got a second win, and were just going at it. A lot of high flying moves, a lot of
back and forth, even up to the end there. Yeah.
Yeah. Within the last 3 minutes, they both got what was it? Sunset? Oh, not Sunset Flip.
Spanish flies.
Spanish flies on each other.
Yeah, it was good. And of course, Cedric ends up getting the win at the end with the lumbar check.
Lio does this weird, almost like stunner.
Oh yeah. It's like a stunner, but he bounces off his tailbone on the bottom rope.
He just
into a stunner.
He goes to jump out of the ring between the second and third ropes.
Yeah.
And just sits on it and uses it as a slingshot
to do a stunner. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Even the commentary were like, what do we call that?
Yeah, exactly. What do you call that?
So it was a very good match. I like both of them a lot. They're both very good technically, and both of their characters are very fleshed out.
Yeah.
And I told you when we were watching it, I could easily watch this feud go for a while if they decide to keep it going.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so then we had NXT. And there wasn't a whole lot to talk about because, War Games is coming up and they're going to hype all those matches.
Like we said with SmackDown, it's the week of a pay-per-view. they're gonna hype all of the matches going into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one has a lot to build on. Mm-hmm. So,
but we did get a couple. We started out with Bianca Belair versus Mia Yim. I thought this match was okay.
Yeah, I like them both.
It wasn't bad
in the ring. Bianca Belair's character kind of irks me a little, but
but yeah, she ends up getting the win though, and she's still
undefeated. She's undefeated. I get it.
That promo last week was holy crap.
Like, I get like pausing for dramatic effect, or wanting to like clap between the words, but like if you say duh. If you're spacing your words out that long, oh god, it's just if you make one word the length of half a promo, it's just like, come on.
You're just being lazy. No.
So then we get Carissa Rivera.
Oh, yeah. Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I've never heard of Carissa Rivera.
Yeah. She's some jobber, let's be honest.
Well, they have her first. They give her a little card. It's like, oh, hey, this person. Wait, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And then Lacey Evans' intro kicks in, and you're like, oh, I get it. It's a squash match.
Yeah, it's just a Lacey Evans squash match, and that's exactly what it is. She destroys her.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
and then either before or after this match, I don't remember, we get a string of promos.
Yeah, and just a bunch of promos. One of them was a Matt Riddle interview.
Oh, man.
Which he said his...
I really like NXT. I did pretty good with my debut.
He's just debut like debut. Oh, I was dying.
Which I don't know if him pronouncing debut wrong was intentional or not, but either way, it fit his character to a T.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it. Mm-hmm. And then during his interview, Cassius Ohno comes in and shows how old he is.
Yeah. I lost to Shinsuke Nakamura.
I lost to Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I'm like... There's nothing impressive about a dude coming up to you and bragging about his age or all the people he's lost.
And so they just use that to set up a match next week between Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, even though he dates himself here and it's not really a well done promo, I don't mind Cassius Ohno.
No, I like Cassius Ohno.
So I'm excited for this match between Ohno and Riddle.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, then we got final match of the night. Hanson versus Kyle O'Reilly for advantage in War Games.
Oh man, this match
was so good. At first, like when the match started, I really but poor Kyle. I wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah, like listen,
I wouldn't want to go against that big dude.
He's one of the small He's not the smallest. The smallest is probably
Roderick, yeah.
But, like, throw Bobby Fish at him.
Yeah.
Because, like...
He's not a big dude.
I'm not to say that that Kyle O'Reilly couldn't beat Hanson.
Yeah, because, don't get me wrong, Kyle O'Reilly is awesome.
But, like, if you had to put someone up against Hanson, or really anybody on that team, you'd want to pick someone who, like... is against the odds kind of person, or who like has the ferocity that it doesn't matter which one they pick, he's gonna win.
Yeah,
I feel like Bobby Fish would have been a good pick here.
It would have, but I something I do like about this match though, because they have Kyle O'Reilly in it, it does create that story of that focusing the leg, weakening the leg more and more and more.
Oh man, some of the limb manipulation, the limb damage,
the kicks too, that leg.
There were a couple of those hits that were brutal.
He put the leg on the rope and then dropped his body onto his knee. I was like, oh.
So it wasn't really a back and forth as much as it was a Hanson picking up momentum and then O'Reilly getting a little momentum, but really just using that momentum to focus the leg and not really like get the upper hand, just weaken the leg down more. And
eventually, though, Adam Cole comes out.
Yeah, and he does the whole thing where he just comes out and he's like, no. Hanson's getting up on the rope.
Distracts him, yeah.
Hanson's getting up on the rope and he's like, you best not. And so Hanson kind of looks at him and then goes up one more rope.
Yeah.
And that distraction gives O'Reilly enough time to recover.
Mm-hmm. And so he gets an upper hand.
No one's home in the splash.
Yep. A couple moves later, Adam Cole, the ref is turned away, so Adam Cole gets a chance to hit a kick on Hanson, and
yeah, that surprised
he
me.
gets
That
his
was a
leg
high
out.
kick.
Like,
yeah.
whoa, okay. He's got some hops.
So then, they do the whole thing where the ref wasn't looking, he gets a cheap shot in.
Yeah. Eventually, the rest of the team comes out, and they all just fight on the sidelines.
And, it's one of those things where, I think, was it Bobby Fish or Roderick that was next? One of the two of them comes out.
I think...
no, they both come out.
Yeah, and they start
because the second member of War Raiders comes out to fight Adam Cole.
Yeah, so they
then the rest of Undisputed Era comes out. Then Pete Dunne comes out. Then Ricochet comes up from the other side and does a flip out of the ring.
Yeah,
and it just turns into a big old brawl.
This brawl distracts the ref though, and allows Kyle O'Reilly to pick up his title belt and hit Hanson over the head with it.
A solid thump.
Oh yeah, and he rolls over onto Hanson. 1, 2, 3. Undisputed Era will have the advantage at War Games.
Man.
It was a great match, though.
It was. It was really such a good match.
I was so entertained the whole time. But yeah, so come to our end of our show. So give me a match of the week.
Honestly, I gotta go with Cedric and Leo.
It's a good pick.
There were a couple real good ones, but man, that match was so good.
It really was. Mine would have to be the WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan.
Well, yeah, because that one also essentially felt like a pay-per-view match. They gave him like 20 minutes to do the match.
Yeah, if not more.
And
more with commercial break.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but yeah, so then best and worst superstars of the week. Who had the best week for you?
Who had the best week?
Yep, who has the best week this year? This week.
Ooh, I don't know.
Right?
It's kind of all over the place. Honestly, even though he has a heel turn, probably Daniel Bryan.
I was actually going to pick Daniel Bryan as well.
Because despite, the heel turn, which
it's not bad
could be a pro or a con. I don't mind it. I'm actually excited to see what they do with it. He went from basically getting beat by AJ Styles every week to becoming the champion.
Exactly.
And now he has a pay-per-view match this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Who had the worst week now? Mine is Jinder Mahal.
Mine's Cien Almost.
Good. They're both good picks for worst. Yeah. Geez, what a mess.
I feel like his match with Hardy was kind of the last string. Like it was just like whoever wins this is afloat, and the other one's just getting buried,
which is sad.
I hope that they try to do more with him, or like maybe in a little while, once all this Survivor Series stuff and all these weird shifts that's going on kind of settle, he can come back and start building again. Because I like him.
Gotcha.
But I guess it's just not in the cards for him right now.
Yeah. All right. Our question of the week, though, is there is one spot since Charlotte Flair will be facing Ronda Rousey. There's one spot left on the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team. So, give me your pick for a replacement for Charlotte Flair.
So I know I picked this question.
Okay.
But I have no idea.
You have no.
Let me see. SmackDown women that aren't already.
You got like Alana. You got Iconics, Mandy Rose, Nikki Cross.
Ooh, Mandy Rose might be interesting.
It would be interesting,
especially with the whole Sonya Deville thing that they're doing.
Exactly.
In my heart, I want it to be Nikki Cross. I want another out of nowhere Nikki Cross entrance.
Yeah, I would probably pick Nikki Cross,
but I feel like I don't know. I just don't know if it's gonna happen or not. But well, sure, I'll go with it. I'll go with Nikki Cross.
Nice. All right, so then, yeah, we come to our Survivor Series picks.
Which you get an extra one of because you got
because I got the win at Crown Jewel. So then, yeah.
Which was where again?
Crown Jewel.
All right,
so obviously we have picks that have a number of points that are added. I have an extra 1 point pick.
So you should go first since you have an extra one.
All right, well, we'll start with our 5 picks.
All right.
I will start with mine. Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah?
I have Brock Lesnar taking the win for Raw.
All right.
Against Daniel Bryan.
My number 5 pick is I have the Raw women winning.
All right, the Raw women winning the Survivor Series match.
Yeah, because look at it this way: the team isn't that great, but you have Tamina and Nia Jax.
Okay.
And you also have Alexa Bliss, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan ringside.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a lot of room for heel shenanigans.
All right.
2 out of the 3 of those people are cleared to wrestle. So there's so many weird shenanigans they could do in this match.
All right. For my number 4 pick, I have the Raw team for the males.
I have the same pick.
The male Raw team. All right.
Just because, like, we were talking about it, and I know the whole SmackDown thing is unity, and, like, SmackDown very much has a whole bunch of underdogs on it. Yeah. Not just on their team, but in general, there are just, I feel like, more underdogs on SmackDown than there are on Raw.
Fair.
But, I mean, you got Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Bobby Lashley on the same team.
Yeah.
That's a lot of beef.
It really is. All right. My number 3 pick. My 3-point pick. The SmackDown women's team.
Oh?
Yeah, I think you make some good points, but I think SmackDown comes out with it.
We'll see. I guess it also is kind of up in the air still a little bit because there's still 1 spot left.
Exactly.
My number 3 pick is I have the Bar beating
AOP. I think that's a good pick.
Just because they haven't really, like, AOP's kind of oopsed their way into tag team champions.
Yeah.
Also Big Show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Big Show can just... I mean, AOP's got Drake Maverick on their team.
But also Big Show.
Yeah, but also Big Show. My 2-point pick. Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah?
I probably would have picked Ronda anyway, but now that she's fighting Charlotte, I have to...
I wasn't sure, so I just didn't touch that match.
Fair. All right.
My number 2 pick is I think Shinsuke is going to beat Seth Rollins.
All right. You think the U.S. champ gets it over the Intercontinental champ?
Which I normally wouldn't really think of because they've kind of been burying Shinsuke.
Yeah.
But my Hail Mary is Dean Ambrose. So...
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like Dean Ambrose could throw a wrench in that match.
All right. My first 1-point pick is the SmackDown Tag Team Survivor Series team.
Oh yeah, like the 10 people from SmackDown.
Yeah, the 10 people from the SmackDown Tag Team division.
I'm so mad that's on the pre-show.
As am I. Give me your 1-point pick.
My 1-point pick is Daniel Bryan winning over Brock Lesnar.
Oh no!
Because listen, Daniel Bryan's a heel now. He's got to flex that.
I mean,
he's got to do some shenanigans.
All right.
I believe.
You can believe.
I just want to see Daniel Bryan low blow Brock Lesnar.
Oh
that's really all I want. It's just Daniel Bryan giving Brock Lesnar a swift kick.
Mm-hmm.
That would just make it for me. That'd be so great.
All right, my extra 1-point pick is Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think he's gonna take it over Shinsuke.
All right,
especially considering they gave Shinsuke a backstage segment and they gave Rollins an entire. He got to come out down the ramp and everything, so
that's fair.
Give me your Hail Mary.
Like I said, my Hail Mary, I feel like Dean Ambrose is going to interfere with the Seth Rollins match at some point.
All right.
Just because they keep ramping it up a little bit each time that they kind of have a chance to.
Gotcha.
And I feel like that would just be hopefully a way to kind of put over Shinsuke a little, because I like Shinsuke and I want him
of course
to be put over.
Same.
They also keep saying, I don't know how Seth Rollins is going to do. I don't know if his head's going to be in the game.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really interesting if, like, his head gets in the way, he starts to lose, he starts to rally, he gets Shinsuke knocked down, he goes to, like, burn it down or something, he goes, like, to the ropes and is, like, pounding his foot, and then, like, Dean Ambrose pulls his feet out from underneath of him or something.
Nice.
I feel like it would be interesting for just Dean Ambrose to run in the middle of the match, start beating up on him.
My Hail Mary refers to my 3-point pick, which was the women's SmackDown team winning. The reason why is because I had the issues with Natalya and Ruby Riott playing a part and costing the Raw women.
So you think that the Raw team is going to combust?
Yep, because of specifically Natalya and Ruby Riott.
Oh, that's fair. That's a pretty good Hail Mary.
All right. But yeah, so that's our picks. The championship is up for grabs.
I'm the current champ.
Yes, not for long though.
We'll see about that.
How dare
this
you?
Saturday at Survivor Series.
That's Sunday.
Yeah. Really? I thought it was Saturday.
Saturday's War Games.
Oh, I thought they said something about it being on Saturday.
Nope.
This Sunday is Survivor Series, which is fine because I still said Survivor Series. One of the commentators this week said SummerSlam, which made me laugh.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's November. It's November, Michael Cole.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so that's all for us today, though. I'm Danny Marvelous.
I'm Nick the Iceman.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.